Elon Musk just crossed the $1 trillion mark. But his massive modern fortune looks small compared to history. When we adjust for inflation, the real titans emerge from the past. Today we count down the absolute wealthiest people from history. Before we dive into the first richest person, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Hitting that subscribe button helps us bring you more history videos every single week. Do not forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Let us start our countdown with number 10 on our historical list. Number 10 is Empress Catherine the Great, who controlled the entire Russian Empire. She took absolute power in the 18th century through brilliant internal court diplomacy. She ruled over millions of loyal subjects and held complete control over all state revenues. Her personal collection of fine art was so massive it founded the Hermitage Museum. She owned thousands of square miles of valuable farmland across Europe and Asia. Millions of agricultural serfs worked her lands to generate endless money for the crown. Her golden palaces were packed with precious furniture and stunning diamond collections. Historians calculate her total controlled wealth at over $180 billion today. Next up at number 9 is the legendary American automotive pioneer Henry Ford. He did not just build automobiles, he completely changed how factories produce goods worldwide. He grew up on a farm, but hated farm work and loved tinkering with mechanical clocks. He moved to Detroit to become a machinist apprentice and learn about steam engines. He worked as an engineer for Thomas Edison while designing his very first gasoline vehicle. This first vehicle was called the quadricycle, and it was built in a small brick shed. He founded the Ford Motor Company after 2 previous business attempts had completely failed. He revolutionized global manufacturing by introducing the moving assembly line to the world. Before his invention, cars were handcrafted luxury items that only rich people could afford. He wanted to build a motor car that was large enough for the average family to enjoy. He designed the famous Model T, which was simple, sturdy, and incredibly reliable on rough roads. The assembly line reduced the manufacturing time of a single car from 12 hours to 90 minutes. Because production became so fast, he could lower the price of the car every single year. The price of the Model T dropped from $850 to less than $300. Millions of everyday citizens were suddenly able to purchase their very own personal automobile. He also shocked the business world by doubling his workers' wages to $5 a day. This move allowed his own employees to easily buy the very products they were building. It also stopped workers from quitting and attracted the best mechanical talent in the country. He reduced the work week to 40 hours and created the modern concept of the weekend. He bought up iron mines, coal fields, and timberlands to control his entire supply chain. He owned rubber plantations in Brazil and his own fleet of cargo ships to move materials. His massive River Rouge plant was a completely self-sustaining manufacturing empire. He built the massive Willow Run factory to produce heavy bombers during World War II. He believed that vertical integration was the absolute best way to run a global business. He controlled everything from the raw iron ore to the showroom floor of the dealership. He designed specialized tractors to make farming much easier for regular working families. He faced intense competition from General Motors, but refused to change his strategies. His company produced over 15 million Model T cars before production finally ended. His ownership of Ford Motor Company brought his net worth to nearly $200 billion. His manufacturing techniques still impact the way we create products in the modern world. Number 8 takes us back to medieval Europe with King William the Conqueror. He was originally known as the Duke of Normandy before he invaded the British Isles. He claimed that the English King Harold had broken a sacred oath to give him the throne. In the year 1066, he launched a massive invasion fleet across the English Channel. He crossed the channel with thousands of horses and heavily armed knights. He built a massive fleet of wooden ships specifically designed to carry his army. He won the famous Battle of Hastings, where King Harold was killed by a fatal arrow. He used a clever feigned retreat tactic to break the strong English shield wall. He marched to London and was crowned King of England on Christmas Day that same year. As the first Norman King of England, he grabbed vast lands across the entire country. He took land away from nearly all the local Anglo-Saxon nobles who opposed his rule. He distributed these vast estates among his most loyal Norman barons and followers. He rewarded his personal physician and his cooks with large estates of prime land. He kept about 1/5 of the entire land of England for his own personal use. He built massive stone castles all over England to secure his total military control. The most famous of these fortresses is the iconic White Tower at the Tower of London. These castles allowed his minority forces to control a large and rebellious population. He consolidated all power into the crown and weakened the local tribal systems. He established the forest laws, which made hunting deer a crime punishable by death. He spent his entire reign defending his borders and putting down violent rebellions. He ordered the creation of the Doomsday Book to count every single asset in his new kingdom. Royal officials traveled to every village to record every house, person, cow, and pig. They measured every acre of pasture, every mill, and every fish pond in the nation. This comprehensive survey ensured that no one could escape paying taxes to the crown. The people said that not a single ox or cow was omitted from his giant book. His personal land holdings and royal assets grew to an absolutely unprecedented scale. He controlled all the forests and wildlife, which made him incredibly wealthy in resources. Historians estimate his total personal wealth at over $220 billion. At number 7, we look at Empress Wu Zetian, the most powerful female ruler in Chinese history. She ruled during the legendary Tang dynasty, which was a time of immense global trade and wealth. She started her career in the royal court and gradually climbed her way to the absolute top. She established her own Zhou dynasty and expanded Chinese borders deep into Central Asia. The famous Silk Road trade routes flourished under her highly organized and central administration. She placed government monopolies on highly profitable industries like tea, silk, and salt production. Her empire exported luxury goods to Europe, India, and the Middle East in massive quantities. She collected immense tax revenues from millions of prosperous merchants and farming families. Her imperial treasury was constantly overflowing with silver silk bolts and precious jade treasures. She funded massive architectural wonders, including giant Buddhist temples and monumental stone carvings. She revolutionized the government by picking officials based on talent rather than family name. Her economic policies boosted agricultural production and raised the standard of living nationwide. Historians calculate her total peak fortune at well over $230 billion today. We have reached the middle of our countdown of the wealthiest figures in human history. Before we move on, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel right now. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss our deep dives into historical wealth. Share this video with your friends who love history and fascinating finance facts. Your support helps us spend more time researching these incredible historical stories. Now let us jump straight to number 6 on our list of financial titans. Number 6 is Jakob Fugger, an incredibly powerful German merchant and banking tycoon. He lived during the Renaissance period and created the first true global banking network. He was born into a family of textile merchants in the city of Augsburg, Germany. He went to Venice, Italy as a young man to learn the secrets of international trade. He mastered double-entry bookkeeping, which gave him a huge advantage over other merchants. He started by trading fine cloths, but quickly expanded into lucrative mining operations. He secured monopolies on European copper and silver mines by lending money to rulers. He literally funded kings, emperors, and popes while controlling the primary metal markets. If a European monarch needed money to fight a massive war, they had to ask Jacob for a loan. In return for these loans, he received the direct rights to extract valuable metals from royal lands. He financed the army of Emperor Maximilian and secured the wealth of the Habsburg dynasty. He even provided the gold that bought the votes to elect Charles V as Holy Roman Emperor. He essentially held the strings of European politics entirely in his financial hands. He had an intelligence network of messengers that delivered political news faster than anyone else. This allowed him to make brilliant investment decisions before his competitors even knew what happened. He opened trading posts in Lisbon, Antwerp, London, and across the Mediterranean. He controlled the trade of pepper and exotic spices coming from the East Indies. He used his immense wealth to build beautiful chapels and Renaissance monuments. He wrote a book detailing his business methods for his nephews to study carefully. He insisted that honesty and precise accounting were the keys to long-term wealth. He died without any direct children and left his empire to his capable nephews. He also built the Fuggerei, which is the world's oldest social housing complex still in use today. He allowed poor Catholic citizens to live there for a rent of just 1 coin per year and daily prayers. His architectural legacy and charitable housing projects still stand in Germany after 5 centuries. His peak wealth is estimated to be worth around $270 billion today. At number 5, we look at the last absolute ruler of the Russian Empire, Tsar Nicholas II. He belonged to the famous Romanov dynasty, which had ruled over Russia for over 3 centuries. He held complete and absolute control over all the riches and state coffers of his massive nation. He owned beautiful winter and summer palaces filled with solid gold artwork and priceless jewelry. His royal family regularly commissioned the famous Fabergés made of gold and precious gems. He also personally owned millions of acres of valuable land and all the natural resources within Russia. Because he was an absolute monarch, his personal wealth and state wealth were completely identical. He controlled the massive Siberian gold mines and the entire imperial bank reserves of the country. His family traveled in private luxury trains that were designed like moving royal palaces on wheels. He owned a fleet of magnificent yachts that were among the largest and most luxurious in the world. His servants wore uniforms embroidered with real silver threads and buttons made of precious stones. The royal kitchens prepared lavish feasts every single day using the finest ingredients from Europe. His personal collection of rare diamonds and emeralds was completely unmatched by any other monarch. He gave away incredibly expensive jewelry gifts to foreign dignitaries to showcase Russian prosperity. His vast empire stretched across 2 continents from the Baltic Sea all the way to the Pacific Ocean. He controlled the massive timber forests, oil fields, and agricultural lands of the entire Russian nation. His personal wealth before the tragic revolution reached a staggering $300 billion today. Unfortunately, his massive mountain of wealth could not save his dynasty from the changing tides of history. At number 4 we find industrialist Andrew Carnegie, who completely dominated the American steel industry. He was a very poor immigrant from Scotland who came to America with absolutely nothing in his pockets. He started working in a local textile mill as a young boy for very low wages to support his family. He studied hard at night and invested his small savings wisely in the booming railroad sector. He quickly realized that steel would replace iron as the primary building material for modern infrastructure. He built his massive steel company from scratch using the latest European manufacturing techniques. He used the innovative Bessemer process to produce high-quality steel faster and cheaper than anyone else. His factories supplied the steel that built the iconic skyscrapers of New York and Chicago. His steel rails connected the entire American continent and allowed trains to travel safely at high speeds. He bought up iron ore mines, cargo ships, and coal fields to control his entire production line. He created a massive vertical monopoly that completely eliminated his business competitors from the market. He was a brilliant manager who focused entirely on reducing costs and maximizing factory efficiency. He sold his massive steel empire to financial titan J.P. Morgan to form the famous U.S. Steel Corporation. This historic business transaction made him the richest private citizen in the entire world at that time. When he retired, he decided to give away almost all of his immense fortune to global charities. He firmly believed that a man who dies rich dies disgraced and sought to help the public excel. He funded the creation of thousands of free public libraries all over the English-speaking world. He built the famous Carnegie Hall in New York City to support musicians and performance artists. He established universities and research institutions to advance human knowledge and world peace. His inflation-adjusted net worth peaked at a staggering $310 billion today. We are finally approaching the top 3 absolute richest individuals in human history. Before we reveal these legendary figures, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support keeps this channel running and allows us to make more high-quality history content for you. Leave a comment below about which historical figure has surprised you the most so far on our list. Number 3 is John D. Rockefeller, who is widely known as the wealthiest modern American in history. He started his professional career as a simple assistant bookkeeper in Cleveland, Ohio, for a small wage. He saw the massive future potential of the oil industry during the early American industrial boom. He founded the famous Standard Oil Company and focused entirely on refining oil into clean kerosene. He realized that refining oil was far more profitable and less risky than drilling for it in the ground. He bought out his local rivals and created a massive corporate monopoly that controlled market prices. His company eventually controlled over 90% of all oil refining and pipelines in the United States. He used his massive economic power to negotiate secret rebates and cheap shipping rates from railroads. His competitors could not match his low prices and were forced to sell their businesses to him. He designed his own wooden barrels and chemical processes to save every single penny during production. The American government eventually ordered his massive company to break up into dozens of smaller pieces. However, those smaller pieces became major independent oil brands that we still use in our cars today. His personal wealth actually increased dramatically after his monopoly was broken into separate companies. He became the world's first official billionaire and spent his later years focused entirely on philanthropy. He donated hundreds of millions of dollars to medical research and founded the University of Chicago. His funding helped eradicate hookworm and yellow fever from large parts of the American continent. His immense fortune is calculated at roughly $340 billion in modern currency. We are now entering the realm of rulers whose wealth is almost too massive for the human mind to grasp. Before we reveal the top 2 spots, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel right now. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss our deep dives into historical wealth and power. Let us find out who managed to accumulate more wealth than everyone else combined on Earth. Number 2 is the brilliant Emperor Shenzong, who ruled over China during the magnificent Song dynasty. He held absolute imperial control over a highly centralized economy built on global trade and technology. His government controlled the massive production of salt, iron, and highly valuable porcelain items. He introduced creative new forms of paper money to make domestic trade much easier for merchants. He implemented the famous new policies to protect poor farmers and improve the collection of state taxes. His empire was centuries ahead of Europe in terms of industrial manufacturing and advanced agriculture. The country produced massive amounts of grain, silk, and iron weapons to secure their regional power. He built a giant standing army equipped with gunpowder weapons and advanced iron armor plates. He supported artists, scientists, and inventors who created the world's first mechanical clocks and compasses. His highly educated bureaucracy managed a population of over 100 million prosperous citizens. His empire controlled up to 40% of the entire world gross domestic product at its absolute peak. That incredible economic power would translate to tens of trillions of modern dollars in today's market. Finally, at number 1 is Mansa Musa, the legendary 14th century ruler of the wealthy Mali Empire. His kingdom covered a vast portion of West Africa during its spectacular golden age of prosperity. His territory contained the vast majority of the world-known gold and salt supplies at that time. Every single piece of gold that entered the Mediterranean market came directly from his royal mines. He became famous globally when he went on a massive religious pilgrimage to the holy city of Mecca. He traveled across the Sahara Desert with tens of thousands of soldiers, servants, and royal subjects. He brought along a massive caravan of dozens of camels, each carrying hundreds of pounds of pure gold. He handed out free gold bars and golden coins to the poor people he met along his travel route. He built beautiful mosques and universities in cities like Timbuktu and Gao using his vast wealth. His incredible generosity was so massive that his travel spending accidentally ruined the economy of Egypt. He put so much gold into circulation in Cairo that the value of the metal crashed completely overnight. It took more than 12 years for the value of money and goods in Egypt to fully recover from his visit. European mapmakers drew his image holding a giant golden coin to show his unmatched global status. Historians agree that his ultimate peak net worth is literally too vast and massive to calculate today. That concludes our look at the incredible historical figures who make modern billionaires look poor. If you enjoyed this massive historical countdown, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching our videos, and we will see you next time for more amazing history.